Okay, welcome to the final class in this part of the course. So we are going to continue from where we stopped in our previous lecture. We see how to fix some of the few bugs we have. Then I'll show you how to collaborate with each other for your test. Then we see how to deploy our Dialogflow agent to a database. So let's look at this. In our previous lecture, we ran a simulation for our agent, okay, where a user comes, enters what he or she wants, the size, the name, and the phone number. Okay, now our agent prompted the user to confirm with either yes or no, with the user stated no. Okay, so which now prompted the agent to ask what would you like to change, and the user says toppings. Now your agent now asks, okay, what toppings would you like to change to, and the user said chicken, for instance. So instead of your agent to take note of this and the other default values that were previously provided by the user, the agent went on to continue asking for the number, for the size of the pizza, for the phone number, and the name of the person, which is not appropriate. So we are going to fix that right now. So we're going to exit this. We'll close this. So we'll go back to our intent. So in our intent, this was the last intent we created, which is in case a user would like to change the toppings in the pizza. And I told you that you can create more. You can create for the size change, you can create for the number change, you can create for the name change. Okay. So in our last lecture, I told you that in order to retain the default values from the previous intent, you simply come to this three button here, click on it, select default value. Then this is where we mixed it. Remember when we created the intent for the item confirm yes or no, we added the context for it using the item, right? So in order for us to retain the default values from the previous intent, we need to make use of the context name for this particular intent. And what is the context name for this particular intent? It is the change context. Okay, so we'll come here and change that item to change now. So remove item, use change. So we'll do it for the other parameters except the toppings, because we're expecting the user to change the toppings in the pizza. So we change this. And we change the phone number. Then finally, we change the name. Okay, now in real life scenario, when a user changes some of the the parameters like the toppings in the pizza, the size of the pizza, the number of pizza they want, their phone number or their name. Your agent should prompt the user to confirm again, right? So that is what we have to do here. We have to provide the confirmation context as an output context in this intent, so that once this intent is triggered, your agent would listen for a confirmation, okay, using the output context. So here under the output context, we are going to provide the item context as a solution for this intent. So provide it item. So you can change the lifespan. I always like to leave mine as 1 for any confirmation. So you can leave it at 5 or you can change it to 1. So once you are done with this, you go ahead and save your intent. Okay, so once your agent has been successfully trained, we can go back to our integration to test it now to see if the problem was now solved. So under integration, we have various platforms that you can integrate your agent to. Okay, we are going to look at one more. I think we've looked at the web demo, we looked at this. You can also integrate to Facebook Messenger, to Twitter, to Telegram, to Skype, and different platforms. But we cannot cover that because of the time constraints we have. But I'm going to send you links to some videos which will show you how to integrate on these various platforms. It won't really take you so much time. Okay, maybe 20 minutes, you're already good at integrating on some of these platforms. You can also integrate on on WhatsApp as well by making use of the Twilio messaging. Okay, so let's try this out first and see. So you click on this. Now if you are creating a Dialogflow or a conversational agent for a company, for instance, and the company has a website where they want to integrate the agent. So once you finish creating it, you come to Dialogflow Messenger. You're going to see this link here. You simply copy it and paste on the company's website. That's the source code of the company's website. This will automatically make your agent available on the company's website, and it's going to appear like this. Okay, so a user can simply click on it to initiate the conversation. Okay, and when the conversation is done, you can just click on it to go back to normal. So let's try our bot and see. So we can start with a small talk by saying who are you, for instance. We say who are you. So you can see the reply. The small talk was initiated. So you can say I like you. I like you too. So you can see how the small talks gives the user the freedom to really interact with your agent in a very informal way. So but let's just go straight to the point. I would really need a pizza. Okay. Great, what toppings would you like? Let's say I would like a ham topping and I would like a slice of it. let's make it 4 slides actually. So, and my name is Charles. Okay, my phone number is 070. Alright, great, Charles. You just ordered 4 slices of ham pizza. Is that correct? So once you see this response here, it means your agent is now listening for the item confirm intent, okay, which makes use of the item context. So you can either say yes, no, or you provide some similar training phrase as we did while creating the intent. So I will simply say no to C. So I'll say no. Okay, so you can see once I said no, the item confirmed no intent was not triggered, and the response was generated by saying, okay Charles, what would you like to change? Let's say I would like to change the toppings. For you, since you've created more item.change, like if the user would like to change the size and the name, you can make it dynamic. Okay, you can say no, I would like to change the name, or I would like to change the size of the pizza, and etc. So I want to change to beef topping. Okay, beef. Alright Charles, we have changed your topping to beef. Is that right? So you can see whether the capitalization is correct or not. Is able to identify what you are referring to. Okay, and you can see those parameters were not requested anymore. Okay, that means this really worked. So once this response is now generated and you see that's right, it means the item confirm context is now triggered again. So your agent is expecting you to confirm the request, so you can still say either yes or you say no again. So if I go with yes this time around, you can see thank you so much Charles, our human agent will call you soon via your phone number. Thank you for shopping with us today. So you can see how this is very useful and very straight to the point. So this will really give the user a chance to interact with your agent very well without having issues. Okay, so you can see the power of context in making all these things work. So I can say alright, thank you. So when I say alright, thank you, the small talk will be triggered anytime. That's what I'm here for. So this is pretty interesting and pretty awesome. So one thing I would like to show you again is, your second test is going to be a group test, so where each group will be expected to build a conversational agent. Okay, unique conversational agent. And let's say the group we have 5 persons each in the group. How do you collaborate with each other to build one single conversational agent? Okay, that's what I'm about to show you now. So what you simply do is you navigate to this gear icon here, you click on it. So this is kind of the most important page, okay, in your Dialogflow agent. Okay, here you have your product name, you have your agent's name, you can make changes here. You have the setting, you can even delete your agent here, as you can see. So this is the general setting page here. This is your client token. You make sure that it is secure. It's your product ID, service account ID. Okay, here you can change your language. We created ours with English. You can add more. You can also come here to select additional language. You can select Danish, German, Spanish, French, and Hindi. Here you can change your machine learning settings. Okay, for those of you that are doing NLP, in yesterday's lecture we looked at how to classify text. Okay, and we looked at three major systems: the rule-based system, which as you can see here, and the machine learning based system. Then finally we looked at the hybrid based system. So the hybrid based system is kind of the combination of the rule based and the machine learning. Okay, why is that? Because while building your agent here, you can provide training phrases manually. Okay, you can specify a set of rules here, so that is rule based for you. Then your agent will also learn from what the user's input is. Okay, that's where the machine learning base comes in. So your Dialogflow makes use of the hybrid base classification. Okay, you can also change your machine learning classification threshold. Okay, we can leave this, we are going to leave this at this, so we don't have to make unnecessary changes. You can enable the automatic spell correction. Okay, for instance, if a user is using your if a user is using your agent and maybe he or she misspelled something, so this automatic spell correction will really know that this is a spelling error and correct it. So you can toggle this to enable that. But the important thing I would like to show you is here. Okay, if you are collaborating with each other to build a particular agent, there are two major ways to do that in Dialogflow. So the first method is to export the agent as a zip file, send it to the other person who will in turn import it from zip. Okay, let me explain that clearly for you. Let's say I'm working on this Pixabot with IK, for instance. Okay, and I started the project. I created two intents or two or more intents, and I would like IK to maybe create 4 entities and stuff. So what I simply do is, after creating my intent, I will navigate to this gear icon under export and import, then click on export as zip. So once I do this, you can see my agent has downloaded on the background. Okay, so once it finishes downloading, I will simply send the zip file to IK via his email or any other platform. Okay, so what IK is going to do in turn is he will sign into his Dialogflow, go to this gear icon, export and import, then click on import from zip. So then he selects the same file, this zip file I sent to him. He will look for where it is in his system. Okay, I think on the download. So you look for it. Where is it? Pizza. So this is it. Click on it and click on open. So once you see this, it's simply saying you should type import and click on the import button. So once I type import in capital letter, this will become blue. So once I click it, the Dialogflow agent will be automatically imported into my workspace. So everything I've created will be made available to IK. He can modify my intent, he can add more, he can add entities. He has access to everything I've already created, both my knowledge connector, both my Smalltalk, and every other thing I might have created. So you can see how cool this feature is. So you can, if you are 5 in your group, so the first person may start off by creating maybe 1 or 2 intents, export to zip, send it to the next person who will import from zip, modify it, add more features, export to zip, send it to the next person who in turn modify it. At the end, everybody will have the same conversational agent, the same features, and collaborate finally. So another way you can do that is to navigate to this share button here. You click on the share button. So if you click on the share button, you can invite people to work on this project. So and to invite people, what you simply do is, as it is now, I'm the admin. Okay, that means I have the right to invite people to work on my project with me. So simply navigate to the invite new people section, enter their email. So once you enter their email, you have 2 options to specify whether the person is a reviewer or the person is a developer. Okay, so a reviewer is simply someone. So when you make someone a reviewer in your project, the person can go through everything you've done without making any changes. So the person cannot change your intent, your entities. The person cannot change your training phrases. The person cannot change your knowledge connector and many other changes. So but when you make the person a developer, it means the person have real access as you do. Okay, the person can make changes that may affect your agent. So the person can modify your intent, change your entities, change your training phrases, make all the necessary changes. Okay, so these are the 2 major ways to collaborate with each other to work on a single agent. Okay, over here we have couple of other options, couple of other buttons. So for this, you can decide to enable sentiment analysis. So you can enable speech here. So you can enable text to speech, so that once you try your agent, you can have a voice response. So we can enable this, for instance. You also have environment. If you want to publish your agent, so you go to environment, you click on publish version and follow the steps there. So I'm just going to save this as it is. So always remember to save your agent. It is very important. Okay, so under the knowledge base, we've already connected our agent to the website, the PAU website, to answer some frequently asked questions. But it's not restricted to just one website. So you can add multiple. You can connect as many websites as possible. You can also create your own CSV file as knowledge base, maybe to answer some specific questions that are not on the website. Okay, this will really save you the stress of having to create intents, as many intents as possible to answer a user's questions. Alright, so this is it for this part. So the most important part we have to really do is to see how to store those parameters that was requested by our agents in a database. And to do that, we make use of fulfillment. Okay, so you navigate to this fulfillment button here and click on it. So fulfillment is kind of a platform. It gives you the freedom to modify your agent using code. Okay, in this part we have two major sections. We have the webhook and the inline editor, which is a very cool feature that was recently added in Dialogflow. Okay, the webhook enables you to write to connect your Dialogflow agent using different codes and different programming languages like Python. Okay, so the inline text editor only supports the Node.js. Okay, so we are going to use it to write some brief code to connect our agent to a database. Okay, which is very, very important, because what is the use of getting a data from a user if you cannot even store the data? Okay, and let's say a user makes a request for a pizza and would like the pizza to be delivered. How do you store the data so that the human agent, the company, can get those data and execute the request? So that's what I'm about to show you now. So if you are enabling this for the first time, okay, just toggle this. It's going to prompt you. You are going to see a prompt to enable billing. So click on the enable billing button. It will redirect you to a page. Okay, so you just click on my billing account and click on enable. So once you do that, you simply come back and enable this. Okay, I've done that already, so that's why I'm not having the prompt anymore. So in this inline editor, we have two tabs here. We have the index.js, which is the JavaScript code section, and the package.json tab, which is where you have the dependencies. So really, some of these dependencies are already old. Okay, if you want to get the up-to-date ones, you can simply open a tab and search for them. Let's say you can search for current version of Action on Google, or you just use the one I'm going to provide. So as promised, I told you that yes, we are going to write some code to deploy our agent to a database, but it's just going to be a short code. It's not going to be much. Okay, so I'm going to show you the easiest way, because this is kind of where some people really find it difficult using Dialogflow, because there are not so much resources on how to connect your agent to a database. But I'm going to show you how to really do that, and do that in grand style. So here we have, in this section, we have the name of your project. Okay, Dialogflow fulfillment. We have the description, the version, the private. So this part is kind of the one we are interested in. So I think the current version of Node is Node 10, but we can leave it as Node 8. You can decide to change it to 10, or you leave it as this. Then we'll leave this. The current version of Action on Google, we are just going to use 2.5.0. The Firebase admin is going to be 8.2.0. So you just change this to 2.0. Then the Firebase function still remains the same. The Dialogflow also remains the same. Then finally, the Dialogflow fulfillment is 0.6.1. Okay, so once you do this, you click on deploy. You're going to see deploy here. Click on deploy. This will deploy your agent on the Firestore Firebase, okay, which is kind of the preferred database for a Dialogflow project. So we're going to see it. This is going to take a little while. Okay, so let's also take note of time. Okay, good. So you can experiment on all this. You can also leverage on the Prebuild agents. Okay, like I told you before, we have Prebuild agents on different aspects of a business. Okay, you can see, once you see this green button, it means your agent has been successfully deployed, and it also makes you feel, have a sense of accomplishment or something. So you can open a tab and search for Firestore or Firebase, anyone. Firestore store. Okay, so this is it, Firebase Firestore. So click on the first one. So you can also check out the documentation. Yeah, I think it's quite elaborate. So just like the Dialogflow, you simply navigate to go to console to just directly go to the Firebase console. So here, wait, make sure, nope. So let me sign up for this. I think I'm gonna pause this video. So once you sign into the Firebase console, automatically you are going to see your project that you created on Dialogflow. So that is to show you that it was actually deployed. That's the reason why we clicked on deploy. So you go to the project, click on it. Okay. So once you click on it, you go to, now sometimes it might not really direct you to this page automatically. So if it doesn't, so if it doesn't, you simply click on Firebase. You are going to see where Firebase is. Click on it. Okay, this is it. So click on the Cloud Firestore. So once you click on the Cloud Firestore, the most important thing you have to do is to create a collection. So what we mean by collection is simply the structure of your data. How is your data going to be? You give like an example of it. So in your collection, you have to click on Start Collection, and you name your collection just like you name your normal data. Okay, then in your collection you are going to have rows and columns. Okay, the rows now, the columns now are going to be the individual parameters that you want to store on the database, and the rows are going to be the values for those parameters. So we'll click on start collection. We name our collection. You can call yours anything. I'm going to call mine order, or you can call it pizza order, anyone. So once you're done with this, you click on next. Now let's take for instance a user would like to order a pizza. We have different users using our agent from different locations, right? So it is appropriate for you to generate some unique IDs for each user's request. Okay, so if user A makes a request, you should assign a unique identification for that particular request, so that in case of anything, maybe failed delivery and maybe some minor challenges, you can accurately track that request. So for us to make sure that that is made possible, you click on the auto ID here to enable auto identification. So here we have to provide the fields. Like I told you, fields are going to be your various parameters. Okay, in this case, these are the parameters we would like to store in our database. So the parameters we are going to get from the user to store in our database. And of course, the first parameter that we would like to get from the user is the toppings in their pizza. Okay, what toppings would you like in your pizza? And the type, we have a couple of options here. You can specify a boolean, you can specify a number, but really toppings are strings, right? So it could be beef, it could be chicken and stuff. So we specify it as string, then we provide a value for it. So what we mean by value is kind of an example. Okay, we can specify beef as an example. Then secondly, what we'll do, the next one is going to be the size, right? So it is very important really for you not to have problems to use the exact same name as your parameters. Okay, this will really save you a lot of trouble, you know. So we also leave the sizes as the size as string, because the person can decide to maybe specify size based on, he can say, yeah, really slice or full pie, for instance. So slice will provide an example to be sliced. Then the next parameter is going to be the number. That's the number of pizza. What number, how many would you like? So we also leave it as string because there are many ways a user might really specify the number of pizza they would like. They can say it by just calling the number 2, or they can spell it out by saying TWO. So you really can't predict the user, so you have to take note of different circumstances that may arise. So we can specify an example to be 2. The next one is going to be the name of the user. So if you feel there are more parameters you would like to store, you simply provide such parameter as your entity, whether it's going to be custom entity or system entity. Okay, then you provide the name here on the field. So the name, of course, is string. So I'm going to start off with my name. Now you can specify first and second name. So the next one is going to be the last but not the least, is going to be the phone number. And phone number, we are going to leave it as string as well. So provide a dummy example. So we are done. Once you are done with this, you go ahead and save. So awesome. This is the way your so once a user makes a request from anywhere around the world, you are going to see the different IDs from the different users appearing here. So for the human agent in the company, once a user makes a request, he or she can just come here, refresh this page, click on the identification, okay, to get the different field. Okay, the person is going to get the topping of the pizza the individual wants, the name of the person, the number of this, the phone number, and the size of the pizza. So using this data, the human agent can now really make those orders available and deliver them appropriately. So this is a cool thing to do. So what I really want to show you here is for you to take note of your collection name. Okay, it's very important. We are going to use it. So we'll simply navigate to our dialog flow. This time around we are going to be making use of the index.js. Okay, we already have some code written for us, but we're going to get rid of some of them, especially the comments. So just to clean up everything a bit. So get rid of the comments. We don't really need this. It doesn't really matter, you can decide to leave this, but I don't really need this, so I'm going to get rid of it. Which other one? So this, now if you can decide to write codes for the response in your intent here. So as you can see, we have the function for the default welcome intent and the default fallback intent. So if you want your agent to really come here to get the response for all these intent, you can simply go to the intent and enable fulfillment. So I'm going to show you that later, but really we are not going to use the default fallback intent. We are not also going to use the default welcome intent, but we are going to use the template for what we need. So I'm going to get rid of this comment, then come here and get rid of this as well. Okay, now index.js is a little bit tidy, so we are going to start writing our codes now. So the first one we have to do is you come under here, that's under this const. Then we need to create a new constant for admin. Okay, so some of you guys have already done, you did JavaScript, so some of these things, some of these functional, of course you know the difference between const and let, you know the difference between const and var. So we're going to define a constant variable for the admin. So we say const admin. So this is going to, we're going to make it required. So it's going to require the Firebase admin here. Okay, so Firebase. So this code I'm writing, you can use it for as many projects as you are going to be working on. Okay, it's constant for all, except maybe you want to use the webhook, you want to connect to other database like the MySQL or the Postgres, then you have to use different codes entirely. Okay, but for you to connect to Firebase, Firestore, this should do for any project. So you come here, don't forget to put your semicolon. Then after that, we need to initialize app. So under this, you say you call your variable which we just created admin. Sorry, admin. We say dot initialize app. The app is going to be in capital letter. Then don't forget to put your semicolon. Then finally on this part, we are going to define another constant for the database. So I'm going to call it db, but you can call yours anything. So I'm going to say const db for the database. So, and the database we are going to use is the Firestore database. So we simply call the admin variable admin, then we say dot firestore. Okay, so don't forget put your semicolon as well. Alright, so we are good here. The next thing we're going to go to is we come to this place. Now we are going to remove this one for the default welcome intent. So what we are going to do now is at what stage are we going to store our parameters on the database? It's very simple. It is when the user has already confirmed his or her request. So for that reason, we are going to use the item confirm yes intent here. So item dot confirm yes. So this is the intent that we created. So once you specify the name, the exact name here, we can assign a variable for it. We can call it get order. Okay, so once you do that, we are going to create this function here. So we remove the welcome intent, we change it to get order. Okay, let me reiterate. If a user enters their parameters, right, we want to store those parameters on the database, and for us to do that, the user needs to confirm their request. So, and for you to confirm your request, this intent needs to be triggered, the item confirm yes intent. Okay, so once you say yes, it means that the user have already confirmed all the individual parameters stated. So for that reason, we need to extract those things from this intent. So that's the reason why we are specifying the intent. We assign it to a function so that we can use this function to get the orders that the user made from this intent. So that's what we are doing here. We remove the welcome intent, which we don't really need, and change it to get order. So the agent remains the same. So the next thing we are going to do now is we are going to specify all the individual parameters that we want to extract. Okay, so we say let, taking note of all these, the ones that we've created here. So we are going to make this pizza underscore topping to be equal to the pizza underscore topping in our parameter. And how do we get that? We say let pizza underscore topping to be equal to, how do we get the pizza topping from our entity? Very simple. We call our agent name, which is this agent, then we will make use of the parameters. Parameter then finally dot the name of the parameter we want, which is the pizza underscore topping. That's all. Put your semicolon. We'll do that for the other parameters. The next one is going to be the size, which is going to be agent dot parameters with an x, not parameter. Parameters dot the size. Put your semicolon. The next one is going to, we're going to let the number to be equal to agent dot parameters, then dot number. Then fourthly, we let the name to be equal to agent dot parameters, then dot name. Okay, finally the phone number, let the phone to be equal to agent dot parameters, then dot phone. Put our comma. So we are good to go. The next thing we have to do is to add all these parameters that we just listed to the collection we created here, to add it to the other collection. So, and to do that is very simple. We call our db, which is the variable we created here. So say db dot collection. Be sure to make sure that all these are spelled correctly, because if you don't spell them correctly, you can think maybe something is wrong, or you don't know it was the spelling correction that made things not really work well. So collection, and what was the collection name we created? The collection name was the order. I think the O was capital letter. Order. Sorry. Order. Okay, let me make sure of that, to make sure that, okay, the O was capital letter. So then we want to add. We simply use the dot add function and specify all these parameters that we just stated here in dictionary format. Okay, so I'm going to show you how it's done. So first of all, you open a dictionary. So the individual parameters here, those are the fields here. We are going to make them as the key values. Then your parameters on your agent is going to be the values itself. So let me just show you. So once you open your curly brace, we can just do copy and paste. That's why it's good to make sure that the name of your variable in your database is the same thing with the ones in your parameters, so that you don't have to be doing different things and later confuse yourself. So say pizza underscore topping will be equal to pizza underscore topping. This is it. Comma, not equal to, so you use the full column, because this is the dictionary. This is a dictionary form, or you can also see it as in just like the JSON, the key and the value. So that is it. It's similar. So let's continue. The next one is going to be the size. So we can copy after the comma, paste it, put your full column and paste again. Put a comma and do that for number. You see, paste it, put a full column, paste again, put a comma for the name. You see, paste it, put a full column, paste again. Then finally for the phone number, so we can just type it out. Phone, put a full column, phone. Okay, good. So at the end of this, don't forget to put your semicolon. Then finally, we want to generate a response for the item confirm yes intent from here, from our fulfillment. So we are going to specify it under the agent.add. So we are going to remove this existing one. We just make it similar to what was generated from the intent on its own. So we can say thank you so much. Then we identify the person's name by using the $sign and using the curly brace with the name inside. Okay, thank you so much. The name of the person, comma, human agent will call you via your phone number. To identify the phone number with the $sign, use the curly brace and identify phone here. While you via your phone number, full stop. Thank you for shopping with us. Today. So you can decide to modify yours, but I'm just going to stick with this. Okay. Now, once you are done with this, click on deploy. So, but this won't really automatically start working. So the reason for that is fulfillment isn't automatically enabled in your intent. So for you to really make use of fulfillment in a particular intent, you need to enable that. You need to enable fulfillment for that intent. So I'm going to show you how to do that as soon as this completes its deployment. So it's very easy. So this is all the code we are going to write. You can see as simple as you can really count it. It's not much at all. So and it's not much, but very, very powerful. So this has been deployed. So we can go back to our intent and enable fulfillment for the item confirm yes intent. Hopefully we don't have any errors and everything works out fine. So this is it. We come here, give it a moment. Okay, so once you navigate to your item confirm yes intent, since this is going to be our final bus stop, there is no need for us to provide an output context for this, so we'll get rid of this one. What is happening? So let's give it a moment. Okay, so we've done that. Then since we've also provided the response in our fulfillment, so we are going to get rid of this as well. So delete this. So give me a moment. Okay, so we get rid of this. So once this is done, we are going to go to this section here where you have fulfillment, and you toggle the enable webhook for this intent. So once you do this, once you toggle this, you go ahead and save. Okay, so agent training started, completed. So we can go ahead and try this out by going to the integration, go to integration, go to the Dialogflow Messenger. We can click on try it now. Okay, so we can just go straight to the point without wasting so much time. I need a slice of pizza. Okay, I need it beef. I need 5 of them. My name is Peter. My phone number is 081. Okay. Yeah, so without beating around the bush, I will just go ahead and say yes. Okay, something didn't quite work well. Okay, something didn't work well, so give me a moment, I'll check it out and show you. Okay, so I just checked it now. All we have to do is just to go back to the fulfillment and redeploy. So meanwhile, you can comment out these things or you can remove them. To comment out, you use forward /2 twice. So you can comment it out or you remove them. So just directly under the constant variable agent. Okay, so just click on the deploy again to deploy it and everything will be fine. So let's go back to the integration and try it now. So you can see, since we enable the voice, you can see by the time you click on this, so it gives you an output audio. Okay.
Thank you so much, Peter. Our human agent will call you via 081594855926. Thank you for shopping with us today.
So you can see how awesome the voice is. So you can leverage on this. You can also change the voice to a female voice if you want to, or you can leave it as a male voice.
Thank you so much, Peter. Our human agent will call you via 081594855926. Thank you for shopping with us today.
Alright, so let's try to deploy on the Dialogflow Messenger to see if everything now works perfectly well. Okay, so we're going to try it now. Okay, so let's continue. I can just go direct. I need a slice of beef pizza. How many? So I'm gonna go with 6. My name is James. James. Obi, for instance. James Obi. So my phone number is 090. Okay. Yeah, so I'm just going to confirm with a yes. Okay, so you can see the fulfillment is not triggered. Thank you so much, James Obi. Our human agent will call you via your phone number. Thank you for shopping with us today. So this is all we need, and we are rest assured that our data is stored on the database. So to check that out, we navigate to our database, and you can see we have 3 IDs here. So the first one was the one I provided as default value. This was the one I provided before the last one. Okay, and this is the last one, which you're going to see now. So you can see the name is James Obi. He ordered a beef pizza, 6 of them sliced, and his phone number is this. So the cool thing about this database is that it is real time. That means as many people are ordering all over the world, this will be generated automatically in real time. So the human agent can just be here taking note of this data and making deliveries. So you can see how awesome and how much we've achieved so far using Dialogflow. So you can use similar method for as many projects as you're going to be working on, especially the one for the test, for instance. Okay, so you try to connect to database and follow the same procedure and you'll be good. So we are done, but before we go, I want to show you one more thing. So let's say you would like a user, okay, you don't just want to deploy your agent on social medias or on chat-based platform. You also want users to call your agent via phone call. So Dialogflow makes that available for you. We have telephony features available, so you can check the other ones out. They are really easy to use. You can see the documentation for them, so you can view the documentation and see how to use them. but the one I'm going to show you how to use is the Dialogflow phone gateway. So it's currently in beta form. Okay, so you still make sure that you enable the beta features so as to be able to use this. I think we already enabled it in our previous lecture, so I just want to show you in case you are building your own agent. So to make sure that you enable this feature here, enable beta feature. So we just go back to our integration, and I'll show you how to get a phone number assigned to your agent so that anybody all over the world can just call your agent and have kind of a voice response, and also make orders and store their data on the database as well. So you can use both the chat based feature, or you can use the phone gateway. You can also try to see how your agent performs on Google Assistant by just clicking on this, but we're not going to go into that. So click on the phone gateway. Okay, we should be done in a minute. Okay, so once it opens, you can check out the documentation by clicking on this. So the first thing, you have to select your language. So we're just going to go with the US, which is the one provided. We select the country code. So we just check if Nigeria is there. If it's not there, or it's not there, so we're just going to make use of the United States. So once you did do that, you click on next. So Dialogflow provides you with a couple of options. You can choose any number of your choice. Okay, we'll just go to, you can go with the first one. Just click on create, and you can see, congratulations, you have successfully set up your Dialogflow phone gateway. So anybody you can make this phone number available to anybody. Once they call this phone number, your agent will respond by saying, "Hi, welcome to Pan Atlantic University Pizza Shop. I'm Pizzabot. How can I help you?" So the user can initiate small talk with your agent via voice. The user, he or she, can still make orders. So you can see Dialogflow offers you a wide range of opportunities to make your agent global. So this is a very cool feature, and I hope you leverage on it. Oh no, it's not cancelled. So let me just close it. So you leverage on it to create your own agents. So like I said, I'm going to provide you with links to some of these links to tutorials on how to deploy your agent on some of these platforms. You can also go ahead and check out some tutorials. They are pretty straightforward. In fact, they are not difficult to do at all. Okay, you can also integrate via Twilio text messaging, so that somebody can just text your agent via SMS. Okay, so I will still send you videos on this. Okay, maybe someday in the future I'm going to create for all this myself. So this is where we end this second part of the course, conversational AI. It has really been an interesting topic. I hope you really enjoyed this topic as much as I did. Okay, and I also hope you leverage on the knowledge. You create as many conversational agents for as many companies as you can. Remember, when we started this part of the course, I told you we saw statistics, okay, on conversational agents, and we saw that in the year 2021, which is next year, 51% or more than 51% of companies are going to spend more on conversational agents than they spend on apps. Okay, so this is very cool skill to have. So once you master this art, you can really build as many agents for as many companies as you can and deploy on database. So also in the nearest future, I'm going to be creating some tutorials on how to deploy your agents on different database as well, like the Postgres or the MySQL. But for now, this is where we end this part of the course, and we'll see you in class, okay, for your test. And if you have any questions or any challenges, you know how to reach me, and I will reply at the earliest. So until we see again, enjoy conversational AI. Thank you.